Annabeth would have been blown away by the local dryad's environmental design. Windows had been replaced by layers of vines that opened and closed automatically for shade and cool, responding to the wind's smallest fluctuations. The greenhouse had been repaired and were now packed with rare specimens of plants from all around Southern California. Natural springs filled the cisterns and provided water for the gardens and the cooling system for the house. I appeared in my old Lester form on the pathway from the house to the gardens, and was almost skewered by the Melii, Meg's personal troop of 7 super dryads. "Halt!" they all yelled in unison. "Intruder!" "It's just me," I said, which didn't help. "Lester!" Still nothing. "Meg's old, servant." The Melii lowered their spear points. "Oh, yes," said one. "Servant of Meg?" said another. "The weak and inefficient one," said a third. "Before the Meg had our services." "I'll have you know that I'm a full Olympian god now," I protested. The dryads did not look impressed. "We will march you to the Meg," one said. "She will pass judgment. Double time." They formed a phalanx around me and herded me up the path. I could have vanished or flown away or done any number of impressive things, but they had surprised me. I fell into my old Lesterish habits and allowed myself to be force-marched to my old master. We found her digging in the dirt alongside her former Nero family members, showing them how to transplant cactus saplings. I spotted Amelia and Lucius contentedly caring for their baby cacti. Even young Cassius was there, though how Meg had tracked him down, I had no idea. He was joking with one of the dryads, looking so relaxed I couldn't believe he was the same boy who had fled from Nero's tower. Nearby, at the edge of a newly planted peach orchard, the Carpos Peaches stood in all of his diapered glory. Oh, sure, he showed up after the danger had passed. He was so engaged in a heated conversation with a young female Carpos, whom I assumed was a native of the area. She looked so much like Peaches himself, except for that she was covered in a fine layer of spines. "Peaches," Peaches told her. "Prickly pear," the young lady rejoined. "Peaches." "Prickly pear." That seemed to be the extent of their arguments. Perhaps it was about to evolve into a death match of local fruit supremacy. Or perhaps it was the beginning of the greatest love story ever to ripen. It was hard to tell with Carpoi. Meg did a double take when she saw me. Her face split into a grin. She wore her pink Sally Jackson dress, topped with a gardening hat that looked like a mushroom cap. Despite the protection, her neck was turning red from the work outdoors. "You're back," she noted. I smiled. "You're sunburned." "Come here," she ordered. Her commands no longer held force, but I went to her anyway. She hugged me tightly. She smelled like prickly pear and warm sand. I might have gotten a little teary-eyed. "You guys keep it up," she told her trainees. "I'll be back." The former Imperial children looked happy to comply. They actually seemed determined to garden, as if their sanity depended on it, which perhaps it did. Meg took my hand and led me on a tour of the new estate, the Melii still in our wake. She showed me the trailer where the Hierophile and the Sibyl now lived when she wasn't working in town on tarot card reading and crystal healing. Meg boasted that the former oracle was bringing in enough cash to cover all of the Aethelius' expenses. Our dryad friends Joshua and Aloe Vera were pleased to see me. They told me about their work traveling across Southern California, planting new dryads, and doing their best to heal the damage from the droughts and wildfires. They had lots of work still to do, but things were looking up. Aloe followed us around for a while, lathering Meg's sunburnt shoulders with goo and chiding her.